Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. Let's jump in the queue and carry on this outstanding 6-win streak. Let's not jinx it, but it's a pretty good one. And I mean, I don't know. There's trophies, badges, I guess is the word, for like 5, 8, and 10, which are like pretty serious business. I feel like we faced relatively weak opposition today. I don't know, that's not fair. Meowth, I mean, certainly is rated higher than I am. Probably a better player as well. Peanut, I don't know. I've never heard of this person. Who knows? And I don't see any way to find out, like, what rating they are. You can, like, there's an API that you can look at, and but nothing in-game that'll tell you, which is... Actually, I bet I could just look on the leaderboard, right? If I don't mind, like, scrolling carefully looking for Meowth. Or not Meowth. Right, we already know Meowth is in the 1700s. But where's Peanut? Is he going to be on this list? I don't know. It's real hard to scroll through this list and, like, actually read the words here. I missed Meowth, because I know he is in the 1700s somewhere. I don't see him, though. I was just mentioned in the Reddit, 1741. Not the Reddit, the Discord. 17... Oh, we're too late. Slim Al. Never heard of this person. Should be interesting. Another 5. Ebb into Xenoguardian seems good. With Tarsiers behind, I guess. We're not going high econ here. I would rather get blue first, if that's alright with you. We'll get the green later. You really want to get that Ebb Turbine, and I don't have any particular need for a ton of green. Now, I could cut both of these drones and build another Blast Forge or something. Actually, do I even want the green now? Maybe I'm supposed to do this. Because you do want Tarsiers. And what's the opponent building for attack next turn? Nothing, right? Probably just like an Ebb Turbine, a drone. And he can't even do that and build another Blast Forge, right? So what if I do this? 2 Tarsiers next turn, 15. Spend 8 of that. Is leaving me with 7. I can't get Conduit Blast Forge, which is what I really want. Unless I sell a drone. That's an idea. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. We get started on the Tarsiers right away. And we're going to be way behind on attack. Oh, no, I guess he's not attacking. Or sorry, going to be way ahead on attack, but way behind on drones, is what I was saying. Thinking. Oh, right, I need to spend my blue on something as well. Yikes. It's going to be hard to get the tech for Xenoguardian this way. So what if I do this? I could Steel Splitter Conduit this way. Next turn, 2 Tarsiers is 8. I then, like, I can't get a second Blast Forge even if I get more, Yikes. I am so low on drones here. This whole Xenoguardian thing is looking like a pipe dream. Because I have to invest in the Conduit as well. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just build another Ebb Turbine. With my blue to let me start getting actual tech. Like, yeah, I need to build up a little more economy before I can actually do anything to him. Before I can branch out into the higher tech, like, of being... Like, what I'd like to build is 2 Tarsiers and a Xeno, like, every turn, roughly. And I can't do that with the economy that I had, even selling drones. So I want to get these this turn, which, like, ugh. I could do something like this. If I do this, he's killing my engineer. Am I okay with that? Not really. I'd rather have a wall. But then I'm not even attacking him next turn with all this stuff, right? But next turn, I'm still not going to be building a defender. So I won't be attacking with the Steel Splitter anyway. Yikes. I don't like how this is going. But I now have cheap ways to spend all of my tech, and so the fact that I'm down a couple drones is maybe okay. He has a ton of green. I'm not sure what this is all about. Is he going to cluster bolt me? I don't see why cluster bolt is good here. Okay. Now we can actually build attackers, which is great. In fact, we can build too much stuff. So we drone up behind, or maybe we build some more expensive stuff. I can't really afford any more expensive stuff. So we'll just replace that drone we sold last turn. It looks a little bit silly. Actually, kind of is silly because we're about to be losing our 2 NGs. Let's just do this. Replace one of them. I could click the Ebb Turbine to get more NGs, but I don't really want 3 NGs, right? I think 1 is okay. And I can always sell the 2 drones at a time next turn if I really need to. That's one questionable advantage I have, is the ability to sell multiple drones for defense if I want. Usually you don't want to do that. Yeah, so here's his big cluster bolt turn. Certainly it's imposing. Maybe I did need multiple NGs last turn, huh? I don't have enough tech to build a lot of prompt defense. I guess actually I do, right? Like, I can build 2 walls, and that, like, by itself, together with, like, a force field, Tarsier, this thing, like, that's fine. In fact, I could be a bit more bold. I want to sell a drone anyway, which lets me build a more efficient attacker, like a Tarsier, instead of whatever I was doing. Instead of a nitrocide. A real attacker instead of just this temporary thing. Okay, so this is his big turn. If we can weather the storm here, I think we're sort of doing all right. And there's nothing I really want to sell a drone for, is there? I could build another NG. What's he attacking for next turn? Like 4, 6... 6? Probably 7 if he builds another Steel Splitter or something. Which is something I will actually want an NG for. Okay, 8. Well, I can just build a wall force field or something like that. But how much is he really attacking for? Oh, I'm glad I have this NG, huh? Although, is there something I can do involving this guy? Not really. So we build a wall, that defends. Steel Splitter and 2 nitrocides. It's a bit interesting. I probably should be selling a drone here, right? And get, like, this? He's gonna be able to cluster bolt pretty soon, actually. I think I'd rather, like... Ah, shit, I'm out of time to decide. I think I wanted to figure out how to get a Rhino involved in all this, so that I would have something to defend. All these Tarsiers are not right, I think. But we have a lot more, I think, permanent attack than he does, as well as having the Xeno Guardian soak advantage. Do this. I could force field one more drone to get an attack in with my Steel Splitter. That's probably worthwhile. I thought I was going to be able to build multiple Xeno Guardians this game, but it rapidly degenerated when he went for like Immolites and Cluster Bolts. Now instead of building these two, I could click the Ebb Turbine and do something like a wall. But I think this is the turn where we press for advantage, right? He's losing one attacker, and you know what? He probably won't attack with another. Maybe I should say, I'm not going to force field. Come at me. Do something like this. This lets him breach the Xeno Guardian if he attacks with everything. But can he do that? Maybe he can. I don't want to risk that. So let's put that force field back and do like this. Shit, that wasn't... I had a better plan before I tried. And this is just like a little bit too little time for me to figure all this stuff out. Yeah, but you're getting breached first, right? Can you really play these cluster bolts? This Immolite might actually be like too slow. No, Immolite actually, I was thinking Immolite is like slower value than Nitrocide, but it's the opposite, right? Nitrocide only attacks once, but so I was thinking it's the more aggressive play, but it attacks once a turn from now, right? The Immolite is more aggressive because it attacks right away. Okay, so he's attacking for 12. That's an easy wall. We just do this, right? Hang on. I should probably be selling a drone here to get a wall, because then I can attack. And now he can't save the Rhino, and he's only attacking for 11. We get to keep the Engineer even. Incredible. Yeah, and I don't want to sell my drone yet. I want to have it around to make walls better next turn. Oh, I didn't even need the force field, did I? Oh, I didn't force field. Good. Alright, I think we got him. I think we got him. Nice. So what happened this game? I'm not really sure. 7 wins. We got a thing. Because this was a weird one for sure. Economically, it was all pretty similar. Looking at this, it looks like he didn't take enough advantage of clicking his Ebb Turbine, probably. I, meanwhile, clicked my Ebb Turbine twice. Like, that is to say, there were 2 turns where I clicked multiple Ebbs, which is not a thing you generally want to do. And the damage graph was interesting, like, I don't know. Let's just watch the replay and find out, right? So the first thing I want to talk about, actually, is the opening. Last time, well, I think this was on camera. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm about to explain to you why I was wrong about something that I never actually told you. I was thinking about, like, how do you open Ebb Turbine, right? What is the right Ebb Turbine opening? And there's something sort of appealing as player 1, where you go drone, of course. And then turn 2, you can play Drone Blast Forge. Right? Now this cuts a drone. Okay, we'll skip player 2's turn. But it lets you go Ebb Turbine Drone so that you have the same net amount of money that you would have had if you'd just gone drone on turn 2 and then drone Blast Forge now. But you have an Ebb Turbine. And then I was thinking, okay, and then like, what do you do next? You like build an Ebb Turbine with your blue and then maybe build some more tech, Animus or something. And you have the advantage, like you have 1 less gold than if you had built 2 drones on turn 2. But you have the advantage that you have 2 Ebb Turbines. 1 less gold and the same amount of income, right? And your 2 Ebb Turbines mean you can sell drones more efficiently, was my thinking, right? When it comes time to start selling drones, you can do it better. But I discussed this on the Discord, and someone convinced me why I'm wrong about this. You don't really want, most of the time, to build 2 Ebb Turbines. And my thought was like, well, why not? They're cool units, right? And they let you convert drones, which is a good thing. You usually want to do it. Wouldn't you want to do it more when it gets to that stage of the game? And his point was no. You don't want to do that because if you are converting 2 drones with Ebb Turbine, you need a lot of tech in order to be able to spend all that gold. And if you have a lot of tech, then getting rid of 2 drones every turn means you'll very quickly not be able to spend all your tech, right? Getting rid of 1 drone per turn you can degrade kind of gracefully, but getting rid of 2 drones per turn, you either have too much tech or too little tech. You don't spend very long with the right amount. And so this Ebb Turbine, the second one, is not really that good. It would be better if it had just been 2 drones earlier. He explained, and again I agree, that the times you would want to go for this Ebb Turbine, this early Ebb Turbine on turn 3, is only when there's something on turn 4 that you badly want to spend blue on. Because notice the difference between this line I've taken, the one I was suggesting. Let's take a quick snapshot. Here we are on turn 4, with 12 gold, 10 drones, Ebb Turbine, Blast Forge, right? If we go with the more standard opening, like this, then we go drone Blast Forge, drone Ebb, Ebb. Now it's like turn 4, and you want 1 Ebb Turbine because selling drones is good, but if you do that, you can't spend your blue on turn 4 on anything but the Ebb Turbine. So you're sort of obligated, even though you have $1 more, your blue, which you have access to this turn, you kind of have to spend on an Ebb Turbine. So if there's something you really want to do with your 1 Blast Forge on turn 4 that's not Ebb Turbine, that's when you might consider cutting a drone on turn 2 to build the Blast Forge right away. But okay, we made it through the opening. I did the sort of more normal thing of getting a Blast Forge right on turn 3 when it's natural. And I got an Animus because our attackers are going to be red. But I had a lot of trouble, like, I didn't plot out my my opening very well, right? I thought, like, gosh, I want to get up to Xeno Guardian, and I didn't realize I don't really have enough drones to do that comfortably. Like, I kind of wanted to build another Blast Forge and a Conduit right here, but, like, you can't do that. Not while also building attackers, which I badly want to do. And so I ended up getting a second Ebb Turbine, which feels pretty dumb. Maybe it should have just been 2 drones, but then I'm floating the blue, so this is better, I guess. And now I can add everything in, and by selling 1 drone, I can still spend my tech. Doesn't feel great. And I didn't spend the tech on very useful things. I don't know. Like, he invested a lot in green when the only green unit is Cluster Bolt, which is fine, I guess. Like, Cluster Bolt is... It's a unit you don't mind buying, but you usually don't want to tech straight for it. Like, warp your build to aim towards Cluster Bolt. You want to do it if there's something else that demands a lot of green, as like a green sink, typically. Or if your opponent is doing something very breach vulnerable, maybe. Like, I don't know, Amparilla. Maybe you would get a lot of green in an Amparilla set if there were cluster bolts and you believed your opponent could otherwise get the Amberilla. Yeah, cluster bolt is disgusting against Amberilla, but you usually don't want to invest in that much green against Amberilla, so I don't know. Anyway, I just had a tough time figuring out how to spend all my stuff here. I did get the one Xeno Guardian in, which was nice, but after that my opponent really put the pressure on, and I was never able to again. I had to spend all my tech on, well, my non-red tech on defense, and then my red tech on whatever I could squeeze in. Here, I did click Ebb Turbine twice, just to let me get out that one extra engineer, which feels like pretty crummy value, but if the alternative is holding a drone next turn, it's clearly better to get $3 out of it to get an engineer now and still have a gold than it is to hold it next turn and get lose the drone and 1 health and not get the extra 1 gold. And I predicted I was going to need to lose that engineer pretty soon. Did I, in fact, lose it? I did. I don't know. This whole game just feels like very ad hoc. I did not have a coherent plan like any of this time. It was just sort of like, try to make sure I have defenders ready for when he's doing his big attacks, and use Ebb Turbine to make sure I was spending all the tech I didn't need for defense on attack. And there was plenty of cheap red to let me do that, which was nice. I don't know if I always made the right decisions about exactly how to spend the tech, but I spent... Well, actually, it looks like I'm way behind him on economy, but I'm not, actually, because I have the Ebb Turbine, which is worth 2 drones. And, you know, he got some well-timed cluster bolts in on the turns when his Immolites... When most of his Immolites were attacking. But with walls and force fields and Ebb Turbine to power the walls, I was able to keep defending and keep building attack to the point where he could no longer use Cluster Bolt comfortably, it seemed like. So I don't know, I don't really have any like great stirring things to say in this analysis. It seemed like I was able to spend my stuff, and having the Xeno Guardian helped a lot. Having built Tarsiers instead of Immolites, questionable, maybe? Actually, let's go back and look. Were there turns where my opponent didn't really manage to spend his tech? It seems like right there he couldn't spend 1 red. How about the previous turn? Here, he spent all his tech, I guess. I don't know. With Nitrocybe in the set, it's really hard to not spend your tech, honestly. I guess that's a big difference between what we did, actually, is I got the second Blast Forge and he didn't. And he got a bunch of conduits and I didn't. Was the second Blast Forge worth it for me? I think it was. It got out the Xeno Guardian, which, you know, did a lot of good for me, right? Starting turn 8, well, sure, starting the end of my turn 8, it's defending for 1 extra attack every turn, and that mattered all the way up to like turn 12, right? So that was like worth 4 health, plus 1 attack every turn is like 8 health. Is it worth it to spend like $5 and also another 5 on this? Like, no, but it also meant that I could double wall, or I could wall Steel Splitter. Like, I was able to use up that blue, if not every turn, then almost, and I think it was in fact every turn. This turn was double wall, then he gave me a break, so it was wall Steel Splitter. Next turn, double wall. Turn after that, I finally floated some blue when the game was really starting to crumble. I could have turned this Immolite into a Nitrocybe and clicked Ebb Turbine again and gotten like a Steel Splitter, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to be able to put on more pressure with the Immolite, and I wanted to have the drone available for force fielding or ebb or whatever next turn. So, meh. It's questionable, I think, whether the Xeno Guardian actually helped. I think it was a bigger deal that... Well, it's not questionable. Right? I think it helped because I was able to use all the blue for a really long time, and the Xeno Guardian was getting value. I'm not sure about these Immolites. It's funny, there was actually a discussion going on in the Discord earlier today about, like, if you were playing base set plus Immolite, would you ever buy any Immolites, or are Tarsiers better? I don't know what the conclusion was, and like the players who were arguing about it, I don't know them well enough to say that I would believe their decision anyway. To me, you know, Immolites feel like awful value because they attack half as much, but they cost one less. And if you compare their value to a Tarsier, like after 1 turn, the Immolite is better. After 2 turns, it's even. After 3 turns, it's even. Only after 4 turns is an Immolite doing less than a Tarsier. And then even after 5 turns, it's only done 1 less damage than a Tarsier. It's only after like the 6th turn boundary where Immolite starts being like substantially worse than Tarsier. And it costs 1 less dollar. And it's better on the next turn. So like... That sort of forces your opponent to defend more, which compounds, and so like, I don't know. Immolite may actually be better than Tarsier quite often, and I don't buy it enough. It feels like my opponent maybe overbought them here, but who knows? Certainly not me. When did he buy his first one, actually, and how much pressure did it put me under? He built his first one when he was building the Gauss charges. I think that's a pretty good play, right? Build it when the Gauss charges are coming in and when the Tarsiers are coming in. I like these 2 Immolites for sure. They put me under a lot of pressure to defend. But I totally can defend, which is nice. And then he built 2 more. Those are interesting, because they're not really applying that much pressure to me in the short term. I can just build a wall and be pretty comfortable. So I feel like he might have done better to have built a Tarsier plus a Nitrocybe, which... I don't know. 2 Immolites definitely do more damage in the long term than 1 Tarsier, right? But they cost more. The Nitrocybe combos to mean like, yeah, the Tarsier... So 2 Immolites do 2... look at their cumulative damage. It's 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, 6, 6, right? Whereas Tarsier plus Nitrocybe is 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So actually, Tarsier plus Nitrocybe is as good as 2 Immolites, and cheaper, except on the very next turn, where the Immolites are ahead by 2. Right? So if he hadn't built these 2, he'd be attacking for, I guess, 5? And I would, what, lose 2 Engies into the Xeno. I probably wouldn't have even built the wall. Which means maybe I could get out more attack. So maybe the extra pressure from the Immolites is worth it. I don't know. As I said, I don't really understand Immolite, and so I'm not really the one to talk about whether it was right to buy. Okay, well, that is the end of the arena run, or whatever they're calling it. And so we get our rewards. Including, I don't know, some number of power cores? It's unclear. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I'll go ahead and open these on camera. Who cares? I don't know whether you guys find this boring or exciting, but... be careful clicking Zatron with Apollo around. That's a very specific emote. Hey, we get both of these crummy emotes. Fine. What is this guy? Hand-painted Tarsier. All right, well, that was a pretty crummy armory run. But I'm quite pleased about the 7-win streak. If we do one more, then I'll be able to change out this for the silver trophy. Very exciting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.